go back to Tyler Horka in the front. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jarrett, just going back to the warm-up line thing and Marcus greeting everybody, how unique is that for a defensive-minded head coach, or, at the time it's just DC, going and greeting offensive players, and now he's the head coach, and, he's in charge of this entire operation, but he's still out there doing it today, making sure he, gets with every player before practice starts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, even though he's the head coach now, he's still that same guy every day. He's been since day one when he took this, defensive coordinator job here. So to be able to interact with him like that, it's really cool. And, for us, we know we can go to him anytime. Just, to know that he's staying how he is today, it's really special.
I guess going back to last spring, when you first saw him do that, what was kind of your reaction while everyone's stretching and you just see this, defensive coordinator coming up and down the line and greeting you guys before practice starts?
Yeah, I was injured at the time, so I was actually on the side. I was actually on the sidelines, and we call the pit, the injured guys work out. But yeah, just seeing that, I'm like, yeah, this guy, he has that factor, and seeing how well the offense, defense, everyone responded to him. That's what we kind of knew, hey, this is the right guy for this program.
Austin Huff is up next in the back.
Jarrett, just how motivated is the offense now to win the opener, I guess? You guys are 0-2, so are you guys motivated to win that? Or
it's not too fun starting practice off with a half-gasser. But I think the great thing about this opener is, obviously we haven't practiced for 2 weeks. It's easy to go out there and be excited. But when it's, practice 7, 8, 9, these openers are going to keep that energy high and keep everything competitive. I think that's the biggest thing that Coach Freeman is trying to do with these team openers.
I'm just wondering, from your perspective, has anything changed without Kyron in the backfield, and how excited are you for guys like Logan and Chris to maybe step up and have big games in the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah, we fully support Kyron and Kyle. We wouldn't be in this position today without them. We wouldn't have 11 wins, and we're going to support them and love them. But, obviously our philosophy is always next man in. And, Logan, Audric, Sebo, Chris, all those guys have to step up for us, and I'm excited to see them. We've seen flashes of all 4 of those guys this season, and we have a great room. We have a great running back coach. Coach Taylor's going to do a phenomenal job with those guys, so we're going to be in good shape.
Patrick Engels next in the front.
Jarrett, until I guess a couple weeks ago, or when Marcus got the job, what was your relationship like with him being a offensive player and him being a defensive coordinator, even though maybe you had a little bit more time with him as a team captain?
Yeah, I knew who Coach Freeman was just from the defensive guys, but I haven't really been able to experience that myself. So when we started meeting with him, of course, after he got the head coaching job and just, being able to be around him, I just kind of understood, why these defensive guys are so passionate about him. And for us on offense now, we kind of understand, why they felt that way. And, it's really exciting to have someone like that.
And I guess going off of that, what made you comfortable kind of in the same manner as the defensive guys, vouching for him as that guy to carry the culture that you guys seem to really care a lot about, even though you hadn't spent quite as much time around him? Yeah,
kind of like what Myron said when we met with Mr. Swarbrick about, coaching, head coach possibilities. We want someone who's to keep the culture of the program intact, that wasn't going to bring in their own philosophies and ideas and kind of change everything. So that's why we kind of vouched for Coach Freeman, because he knew that this place is special, and we knew that as well. So that's, him now. We know that he's going to keep, as however long he's here, he's going to keep the culture intact.
Tim Preezer's next in the back.
Right here, Jarrett. Getting back to the meeting that you had with Jack Swarbrick, he summarized it. You were there when he said that you guys basically said, "Jack, don't screw it up." Was that an accurate portrayal of the way that you tried to convince him in making the decision?
Yeah, we pretty much told him, look, that we want Coach Freeman. That if Coach Freeman's not the guy, we don't know what's going to happen. Recruits, other coaches, things like that. So that's another reason why I want to vouch for him, because at the end of the day, we want to see this program succeed for years after we're gone. And we know that if Coach Freeman's intact, he'll keep the culture, he'll keep people around. All these, exciting recruits and things like that are going to keep coming here. So that's why, we didn't tell Mr. Swarbrick exactly that word for word, but that's kind of what we're hinting at.
We didn't figure you guys actually said that. I asked Myron about his mindset, knowing it's his last game. You're probably somewhere in between with that. Just what are your thoughts about potentially playing your last game in Notre Dame uniform and then ultimately coming to a decision about next year?
Yeah, the biggest thing, I'm just waiting to get as much feedback as possible as I can to make the right decision that I believe for myself. I'm still waiting to hear back from the college advisory committee. And then once I get out, sit down with the coaches and my family and, start breaking that down. But yeah, it's definitely weird. I mean, like Myron said, just the past 3 years, it's gone by so fast. And when you're a young player, all the older guys try to tell you, like, yeah, whatever, this has been such a long week already. But being in this position now and how fast this season's gone, it's like it really puts things in perspective.
And when do you anticipate getting the evaluation?
It should be sometime within the next week. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tim O'Malley's next in the middle.
Jarrett, I'm following up on what Tim Priester asked you. Will you talk to people outside? I know your family, obviously, but will you seek out like Liam Eichenberg or guys that had to make decisions, Aaron Banks, anybody that has gone through that process before and had to make a tough decision?
Yeah, I've been talking to those guys. I mean, we talk all the time, just about Notre Dame, that stuff, anything, and they'll definitely be people I can trust and rely on because they're experiencing it right now. So they're definitely resources I'll use.
Tyler James up next to your left.
Jarrett, I'm not sure how much of Oklahoma State you've been able to study yet, but they were very good defense and very good front. What sort of challenge do you think that they will present you guys, and how much are you looking forward to maybe testing how good this offensive line has gotten over the last half of the season?
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton. I've just watched the Baylor game, but I know statistically speaking, I think they're top 10 in every category, lead the country in sacks. And really what I took away from watching Baylor is they have a ton of looks. And we have to be prepared to face all these different looks, especially in the bowl game. I mean, last game of the season, they have nothing left to lose. And it's going to be a great test for us. We've only trended up the past 6 weeks. And for us, it's be kind of like our final test of the season. I'm excited, to see these guys get out there and get after it.
What was it like to see Blake Fisher out there in practice the last couple of days?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I went through the same thing. It's tough coming back at first. And I told him, look, you're not going to feel the same the first couple of practices, or you just got to, push through it and realize that you'll get back to where you were and continue evolving. But yeah, just seeing him out there, and it's just so exciting, especially for a young, someone as talented and young as him.
Thanks, Jarrett.
We'll wrap up with Eric Hansen to your right.
Jarrett, it seemed like the big progress you guys made this season was during the bye week. It seemed like you got a lot of things straightened out. Does this bowl practice structure afford you another chance to make a big leap as a unit?
I think definitely. I think especially the way Coach Freeman's structuring practice, we're doing right now just a lot of good on good. A lot of teamwork. Practices are flying by. I think that especially for guys like Joe and Andrew, kind of like in their first full year starting, that all this work is really going to pay off for them, by the end of bowl prep and heading into Oklahoma State week.
You're all set, Jarrett. Thank you.
Thank you.